Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do a quick core workout. It's going to be focused on core stability, and it'll be short and sweet. So we're going to start on our backs. Also I have a block here, which you might want at some point, but you don't need it. Something to prop yourself up on seated might be helpful. Okay, so we're going to start on our backs. You're going to bring your feet to the ground, knees are bent here. Just take an inhale through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth, relaxing through your shoulders, relaxing through your face, letting your tailbone be heavy so that you have that natural curve in your lower back. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to scoop your pelvis under, imprinting your lower back towards the mat. And then inhale, release, letting your tailbone be heavy, finding your neutral spine. Moving through this a couple times, your pelvic tilts. As you imprint your lower back to the mat, think about your lower back lengthening and then letting your tailbone release, finding your neutral spine on your inhale. Exhaling to tilt. And inhaling, releasing to your neutral spine. Thinking about that movement coming from your core, so your feet aren't gripping, your shoulders aren't gripping. Belly button pulls in and up as you find that scoop of your pelvis. And then release. Good. Next time you find your scoop, you're going to stay there. So your lower back is imprinted towards the mat. You're going to take your right leg to tabletop and then your left leg to tabletop. So your lower back's imprinted into the mat, feet are in tabletop. You're going to tap your right toes down towards the ground and then alternate left toes tap. So we're just alternating tapping here. The further away you tap, the harder it's going to be. The closer you tap, the more accessible. You're hinging from the hips, you're keeping your knees bent, and you're breathing. Maybe here, taking your hands up towards the ceiling, keeping them still as you're tapping one toe at a time. Only thing moving is your legs. Good. One more time each side, and then we're going to add on. As you tap your right toes down, can you bring your left arm back behind you and then everything back to center? And then switch. Right arm comes back as left leg taps down, alternating here in your dead bug. Keeping everything stable as opposite arm and leg move in opposition. Keeping the knee bent, hinging from the hips. Good. Take one more time each side. And then bringing everything back to center, feet in tabletop, hands towards the ceiling. Can you tap both toes down at the same time? Lift back up to tabletop. Tapping both toes down, lifting back to tabletop. You're only going as far as you can without your back arching. So you're keeping that scoop of the pelvis here to protect your lower back. Last one. An option to stay here or option to add on your arms. So both arms come back as both legs tap down and then back to center. Both arms and legs tap down in opposition. Good. Just two more here. Last one. Nice. And then you'll place your right foot on the ground, left foot on the ground, both hands on the ground, and take your knees side to side for windshield wiper. Stretching out through your hips. We used a lot of hip flexors there. Good. And then you'll find center again. We're going to keep both feet on the ground, rather. Knees are bent. You're going to take your hands behind your head. Your elbows are in your peripheral vision, so you can kind of see them. Your hands are there for support for your head. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to nod your chin, nod your ribs up to your ab curl. Take an inhale at the top, exhale, come down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, curl up. Inhale at the top, exhale, curl down. Keep going like this. I'm going to do 4 more. Your head is heavy in your hands. Elbows are staying in your peripheral vision, so they're not wrapped around your head, and they're not too wide either. They're there as support for your head. Good. Last 2. 1, we're going to meet at the top, head is lifted. Can you bring your right leg to tabletop and then lower it down? Left leg to tabletop. You're keeping your head lifted here, just lifting one leg at a time. Good. Next time you lift your right leg to tabletop, can you rotate your left elbow towards your right knee and then lower everything back down? Lifting your left leg to tabletop, right elbow comes towards left knee, and then lower everything back down. Head is staying lifted, or you can lower it in the middle if you'd like. Exhaling to rotate. Inhaling, everything comes back down. Exhaling to rotate. Inhaling, everything comes back down. So thinking here about that rotation coming from your core rather than your elbows. So your elbows are just following the movement of your core, rotating side to side. We'll do 1 more here. Let's pause as we're rotated towards the right leg. Can we straighten the right leg and lower and lift? So we're keeping the rotation and we're just lowering and lifting our right leg for 3, 2, 1. Good. And then you'll place the leg down, come back to center, rotate towards the left leg in tabletop, extend that left leg, lower and lift, holding the rotation, keeping everything still except your left leg. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you'll place the foot on the ground, find center, and release down. Stretching your legs out, stretching your hands out. Take a big inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Taking your feet to about mat width apart and your hands to mat width, or your arms to mat width apart rather. So you're in an X position. You're going to take a big inhale. You're going to hover your right arm and your left leg. And then you're going to lower back down. Exhaling to lift your other arm and other leg and lower back down. So you're lifting opposite arm and leg just to a hover, 1 inch above the ground, and then lowering back. Good. Imagining like you have an apple or orange between your neck and your chin, so it's your chin's not crunched into your neck, and you're also not tilting your head all the way back. Just a little hover here. The rest of your body is staying totally still, so your hips aren't moving as you lift opposite arm and leg, using your core stabilizers to keep you steady. 1 more each side. Good. And then you'll bring your legs together. Hands are reaching behind you. We're going to do 3 roll-ups. So you're going to bring your hands towards the ceiling, tuck your chin to your chest, squeeze your legs together as you roll up 1 bone at a time, trying to keep your feet on the ground, coming all the way forward, finding the C curve through your spine, and then stacking back up, shoulders over hips. And then we'll go down. So we're going to tuck or scoop our pelvis under as we roll down, keeping our feet on the ground, 1 bone at a time, shoulders are down, and then we're reaching away behind us. As we inhale, exhale, lift your hands towards the ceiling, tuck chin to chest, rolling up, trying to take the momentum out of it. Squeeze your legs together. If you need to, you can always bend your legs. Use the backs of your thighs to help pull you up. reaching forward. Find that C curve, pulling belly in and up, and then stacking your spine so that your shoulders are over your hips. We'll go one more time. Scoop that tailbone under, finding that length as you roll down one bone at a time. The slower you go, the more you're going to strengthen and make it easier as you come back up. Take an inhale as you exhale, bringing your hands towards the ceiling, tucking chin to chest, rolling up one bone at a time, keeping those feet on the ground. Find that C curve as you reach towards your toes, and then stack your shoulders on top of your hips. Nice. Shake it out. We're going to come into our saw pose. So this is where a block might be handy. Importantly here, you want your spine to be long. I find it hard for my spine to be long when I'm sitting on the ground. Having a little prop up is helpful. So you have a couple options here. Either your feet are crossed or bringing your feet out into a straddle. Do what's comfortable for you here. You're going to bring your hands out to the side and we're going to rotate towards the right, reaching the left arm to the right foot and the right arm behind you in opposition. So you're reaching forward and then you're coming back up, finding center. And then the other way, rotating to the side, reaching that right hand towards the left foot as the left hand reaches behind you, pinky up towards the ceiling. And then stack back up, find center. Good. We'll do 2 more times each side. Rotating to the side, reaching the hand towards the opposite foot, same hand away from you in the opposite direction, coming back up, stacking that spine, rotating back to center, rotating all the way to the left, reaching the right arm to the left leg, reaching forward, belly pulls in and up, coming up to sitting, back to center, one more time each side. Rotating to the left, reaching the arm to the opposite toes, finding length here, stacking back up, back to center, and rotating the other way, reaching opposite arm to leg. Find that bend forward, lifting up, and back to center. Nice. You'll come off your block or whatever you're sitting on if you had something. Put it to the side. We're going to come onto all fours. So you're bringing your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Find your alignment. And your toes are on the ground. We're going to take a cat-cow to start. Inhaling, opening the chest. And then exhaling, push the ground away. Gaze comes to belly. Inhaling to open. Exhaling, finding that C curve. Moving through your cat-cow a few times here. And then you'll find neutral, so somewhere in between those two. We're going to do some scapula isolation. So your shoulder blades come together as your chest releases towards the ground, and then shoulder blades pull apart as your chest pulls back up. So thinking about your shoulder blades squeezing a pencil and then pushing the pencil away as you push the ground away. You're isolating through your scapula here. So the rest of your upper body isn't moving. It's just through your shoulder blades. Chest releases to the ground. Exhaling, push away. Last 2. 1. Then you'll find somewhere in between those two. So you're not in protraction, you're not in retraction, you're somewhere in the middle. We're going to take our right hand and open it up to the side and then lower back down. We're opening it up. You can have a bent elbow if you want, or just have a little bend in your elbow, reaching to the side. See what feels comfortable for you. Finding your balance, finding your core as you lift one limb off the ground, and you're left with 3 on the ground. Last 2. 1. Can you lift your left leg to the side and lower? Again, trying to keep your right hip above your right knee. Your right hip probably wants to dip to the right as you lift your left leg to the side. And you're trying to keep it over your knee. Last two. One, can you combine? So we're going to bring our hand to the side and our leg to the side and then lower back down. Hand and leg open to side and back down. Last three. Head is in line with spine. 2. 1. Can we hold here with hand to side, arm to side? Extend the arm in front of you, leg behind you. So you're in your bird dog position. Hand and leg are pulling in opposition. Find your balance here. And then come back to that bent elbow, bent knee where we started. So we're straightening the elbow, straightening the knee, and then coming back to bent beside us. Good. Last 3. 2. 1. Good. You're going to place your hand down, place your leg down. Can you come onto your left forearm? So you're going to open your right hip towards the side of the room, coming onto your right fingertips. So your right hip is open, you're on your right fingertips. You're just going to bring your right knee to your right elbow and extend. Right knee to right elbow, extend. Last 4. I like taking my gaze to my bottom hand. I find that feels the best on my neck. Do what feels right for you. The last 2. 1. Can you hold the leg out? You're going to bring your arm out to the side, or in front of you rather, and then bring your elbow to knee. This time your arm is moving also instead of staying put, and then extend it overhead. So you're bringing elbow to meet knee and extend. Good. Feeling that stabilizing leg, stabilizing arm really working. Last 3. 2. And 1. Good. Bringing the arm down, squaring your hips to the mat, bring your right leg down, and take a quick child's pose. And then we're going to come back up. I'm just going to scoot around so I can face you. And then we're going to move to our left arm. So you're lifting your left arm out beside you and lowering it down. Head is in line with spine. Lifting and lowering our arm to the side. Trying to keep everything else stable. Again, your elbow can be bent. Can have a little bend in it. Staying strong through your right arm. Last 2. 1. Bring that arm down. We're going to move to the leg. So right leg opens beside you and back to center. Right leg opens, back to center. Trying to keep the hip over the knee, the left hip over the left knee, so your grounding leg isn't shifting to the side. Staying strong through your upper body. Head is in line with spine. Last 2. 1. And then we're going to combine. Arm opens and leg opens. So we're in like a bird dog, but we're opening to the side instead of in front and behind us. But our core stabilizers are working all the same. Opening the hand and the arm and leg. Can you extend the elbow, extend the knee in front and behind you, and then bring it back to bent. Extending like someone's pulling your arm and leg in opposite directions, and then coming back to bent. Nice. Last 3. 2. Remembering to breathe. 1. Bringing the hand down, bringing the knee down, coming onto your right forearm, opening your left hip up towards the side, or out towards the side rather. Lifting that left leg up. Left hip is open to the left side of the room. Can you bring the knee in to meet the elbow and extend, maybe coming onto your left fingertips if that's more comfortable. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you keep your leg extended? Extend your arm overhead now. Find your balance. Same thing, elbow comes to knee and extend. This time your arm is moving with your leg instead of staying put. And you have one less limb on the ground, so a little more core work. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hand down, square the chest to the mat, and then bring your left knee down. Find a child's pose. Bringing your hips to your heels, maybe shifting side to side, and taking a breath. Okay, come on up for a sec. Roll out your wrists. We're going to do one last thing here on our wrists. A little plank series situation. So you're going to come onto your hands and knees. So knees are under hips, hands are under shoulders. Can you tuck your toes under? Take an inhale. As you exhale, hover your knees above the mat and then lower back down. Exhale to hover, inhale to lower. So we're just lifting and lowering our knees 1 inch above the mat, imagining like you're balancing something on your back. So everything's quite still. You're lifting your knees and lowering your knees with control, preparing for a little plank. Good. I'm going to move myself up a little bit on my mat just because we're going to come out into our plank. So next time you lift your knees in that hover, can you hold for a second? Extend your right leg behind you. Extend your left leg behind you. Let's hold here for 10, 9, 8. Strong through your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you bring yourself to downward dog? Hips come up towards the ceiling. Take a nice stretch here. Maybe pedal out your feet for a second. And then you're going to come back to your plank. And we're going to alternate between our downward dog and our plank. Moving with control, lifting our hips up, and then bringing them down, shoulders over wrists. I like this one because it's a nice stretch and strength. Get a little reprieve from your plank, and then we're right back into it. Good. We'll take one more. Next time we're down, we're going to stay down for 10 hip dips, bringing your feet together. Can you dip your hips to the right and then left? That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Find center. Bring your knees down. Bring your hips to your heels. Take a breath. And come on up. Shake out your wrists. Maybe give them a nice roll to end. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining for this little quick ab workout. Hope to see you soon.